Good morning, Bahamas. Today is Tuesday, February 15th, 2022, and you're tuned into the Blaze 98.3 FM. I'm Westerlyn Ferguson. Thank you so much for joining us. In our top story this morning, police need your help as they investigate the country's latest traffic fatality. According to preliminary reports, the alleged hit-and-run incident occurred sometime after 1:30 p.m. on February 14th. Police were notified of a traffic accident involving a pedestrian and a vehicle off of Prospect Ridge in New Providence. Officers responded, and on the arrival of the investigators from the police traffic division, they found a male lying in the street unresponsive. Emergency medical services later pronounced the victim lifeless. Investigation reveals that the male pedestrian was struck by a driver of a small Japanese vehicle that left the scene heading in a western direction. Police will await an identification by a next of kin to determine the victim's identity. It has not yet been determined if speed was a factor in this matter. However, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division continue their investigations into this incident. Police are appealing to the public who may have knowledge of this crime to contact the confidential hotline at 702-9967-68 or 69 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS 8477. Your assistance in this matter would be greatly appreciated. A shortage of bananas on the island for over a week has many consumers concerned. One of the most consumed fruits globally was out of stock in every store on the island last week due to shipping delays from the United States. One vendor told 98.3 The Blaze FM that his clients would buy bananas by the case weekly, but this delay has caused a mild inconvenience for them. Reports out of the United Kingdom alluded to an impending banana shortage due to a disease called Tropic Race 4. According to the BBC newsletter, TR4 is a killer disease that turned up out of the blue. It moves by stealth transmission, spreading before symptoms even show. Once it takes hold, it is already too late to stop it. There is no cure. The report states that the disease is like COVID-19 for bananas. Also known as Panama disease, TR4 is a fungus that has been rampaging through banana farms for the past 30 years. But within the last decade, the epidemic has suddenly accelerated, spreading from Asia to Australia, the Middle East, Africa, and most recently, Latin America, where the majority of bananas shipped to supermarkets in the global north. To date, it is now in more than 20 countries worldwide, prompting fears of a banana pandemic and shortages of the world's favorite fruit. Could this be a reason why Exuma has experienced the shortage over last week? Researcher Fernando Garcia Bastidas, a researcher in plant health who studied TR4 at the university in the Netherlands, says bananas are undeniably among the most important fruits in the world and are a major staple food for millions of consumers. We cannot underestimate the impact the current TR4 pandemic could have on global food security. The BBC report further states that the potential banana pandemic could have positive outcomes if it forces us to farm bananas in a more environmentally friendly way and to eat a more diverse range of fruit. Store-bought bananas are injected with chemicals, have been genetically modified, and are not effective in their healing properties as a naturally grown one can. Local farmers are encouraged to try growing different varieties like the traditional lady fingers, Cavendish that are similar to the ones bought in stores, sugar, and hog bananas to discourage the imports and to support local businesses. It is hoped that the new shipment of bananas will arrive on the island this week, but until then, be sure to find other sources of potassium and vitamins B6 and C like those found in oranges, cantaloupes, honeydew, apricots, grapefruit, some dried fruits such as prunes, raisins, and dates, cooked spinach, cooked broccoli, potatoes, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, peas, cucumbers, zucchini, and pumpkins. And finally, in our newscast this morning, the Blaze 98.3 FM spoke with several shoppers yesterday who expressed their concerns about the country's current grocery price spike. Our Marco Lightborn has this story for you.
In response to rising food prices in the country, the Consumer Protection Commission released a press statement indicating that they will continue to monitor the global change in prices of consumables and ensure that all local wholesalers and suppliers abide by the regulations laid out by the Consumer Protection Act and the Price Control Act. They said, "We are looking at staggering price increases due to U.S. inflation." The Consumer Protection Commission has taken note of the rise in inflation in the United States, the Bahamas' largest trading partner, and the warnings from local merchants that the price of everyday goods are expected to also rise as a result. Bahamians should bear in mind that inflation in the United States has risen by more than 7% in the past year and is the largest annual spike in the Consumer Price Index for the nation in more than 30 years. Consumer Protection Commissioner Walter Ferguson said, "One of the biggest challenges in our country is that more than 90% of our goods are imported. Due to the supply chain interruptions, bad weather, staff and trucking issues in our number one source market, the United States, our prices will increase. What we will have to do as Bahamians is buckle our belts, tighten up and buy what is needed more than what is wanted." In a recent story by The Blaze 98.3 FM, Exumians offered their views on the increase in food pricing and how they were coping. Today we gathered more perspectives from residents as they reviewed the press release from the Consumer Protection Commission.
The food price and of living in the Bahamas is ridiculous. Like, how are people who don't even have a decent job going to make it? It's just crazy. Even though they lowered the VAT to 10% on all items now, it's still a lot of money, and Bahamians, we're not going to be able to make it. You really need to start your garden so that you can save on certain fruits and certain vegetables. That way you can save on those things and try catch sales. That's what I'm doing.
Honestly, I'm not shocked about the prices in the grocery stores. We import almost everything, and the fact that we have a global shortage of goods in general, a lot of shipments are delayed. It's no surprise that it's going to be a higher demand, and it's just not going to be enough stock there for people to be able to buy their groceries. So I think it's just another symptom of the pandemic and how it slowed down production and how it slowed down trade, and on top of the fact that it's just becoming more expensive to live in the Bahamas in general.
The Consumer Protection Commission reminds Bahamians of their rights to receive expected value for services and purchases rendered, which are safeguarded by legislation. Consumers are advised that they can launch a formal complaint to the Commission at www.cpcbahamas.org, ensuring that they include copies of relevant documents, including receipts, warranties, contracts, email correspondences, and a concise explanation of the grievance.
Thanks, Marco. And stay with us. The latest COVID dashboard report and a look at your local weather forecast is up next after the break.
The new Cash and Go mobile wallet. The mobile wallet will allow you to load funds from any branded debit or credit card free of charge. Send funds locally to others with the wallet using just their mobile number. Pay utility bills and more. It helps you keep track of your daily transactions. Download the mobile app from the Play Store, while Apple users can contact info@paylanesnow.com. Cash and Go's new mobile wallet. Easy, simple, safe, and secure.
Welcome back. The Bahamas Ministry of Health reported 19 COVID-19 cases yesterday. The overall total now stands at 32,950 since the start of the pandemic. There were 16 recoveries reported for the day, with the total recoveries now at 25,440. There are 766 deaths. There are 44 hospitalized cases, 3 patients are being treated in the intensive care unit, and the remaining 41 cases are considered moderately ill. As always, the Blaze 98.3 FM continues to advise its listeners to tune into this radio station for any updates provided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Now here's Gigi Presenti with your local weather forecast.
Good morning. Here's a look at your local weather forecast for Tuesday, February 15, 2022, as issued by the Bahamas Department of Meteorology. General situation. A stationary front will continue to meander across the southeast Bahamas while high pressure builds in its wake. Special warnings. Beachgoers and boaters should continue to exercise caution due to hazardous rip currents and rough surfs mainly along north and east coast beaches. Boaters in the southeast Bahamas should also remain vigilant due to the possible waterspout activity. For the central and southeast Bahamas, weather variably cloudiness and windy with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms mainly across the southeast Bahamas in the vicinity of the frontal boundary through tonight. Small craft advisory is in effect. Small craft operators should also be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Winds northeast to east at 20 to 25 knots over open waters. Seas 6 to 9 feet over the ocean. Today's daytime high temperature 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 degrees Celsius. Overnight low 61 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 degrees Celsius. Sunsets at 6:03 p.m. Moonrise at 5:15 p.m. We're currently experiencing high tide, low tide 1:23 p.m., high tide 7:11 p.m., low tide 1:15 a.m. on Wednesday. For your extended forecast. For the next 2 days, the aforementioned frontal boundary will continue to weaken through midweek. Meanwhile, high pressure will continue to support brisk winds that will result in hazardous boating and beaching conditions, as well as possible beach erosion and coastal flooding, mainly along eastern shorelines through Thursday. I am Gigi Presenti, and this has been a look at your local weather forecast.
Thanks, Gigi, and thank you to our listeners for tuning into the Blaze 98.3 FM. Tune in again at 1 p.m. for highlights of what's to come in our 7 p.m. newscast with Samarco Lightborn. I'm Westerlyn Ferguson. Have a great day, Bahamas.